Steph drops 31, and Wiggins bodies Luka. Golden State goes up 3-0 in the Western Conference Finals. Let's go. The only numbers that count is the Warriors are up 3-0 in the Western Conference Finals. Golden State takes out the Mavs 109-100 in Game 3 in Dallas. Andrew Wiggins drops 27 points, 11 rebounds, not to mention his defense on the other end of the floor, his activity on the boards. Steph gives you 31 and 11 assists. Want a big number? The Warriors had 28 assists on 38 field goals made. That just goes to show you that they don't play iso ball as a rule. Ball movement, body movement, and everybody is a screener. Whether you're Steph, Clay, Wiggins, it's not just Draymond. Everybody buys in. Jordan Poole buys in to setting screens. They realize by setting a screen, you not only free up your man, you free up yourself. The ball movement, it's joined to the hip with the body movement. The story of this game is very much like the story of this series. The reality is, not a secret to nobody as this series, before the series even began, Golden State came into the series the better team. I didn't pick Golden State because I'm a fan of the Warriors. I admire what they've done over the years and what that core has done. But I picked the Warriors to win because I knew they were the better team. I still think Luka is the best individual talent in the series, but that's not enough. And even last night, he got 26 from Dinwiddie. He got 20 from Brunson. And that still wasn't enough because you need your role players to also hit timely shots. And when Bullock, who had played well throughout the playoffs, and Kleba go a combined 0 for 15, 0 for 12 from 3, you're not going to win. The Dallas Mavericks are needed two things this offseason. They need a rim protector, and not just a big guy. They need an athletic rim protector who can not only block shots or change shots, but can snatch down 12 rebounds and on the offensive end, be a rim runner. That way that there's an impact on both ends of the floor. And they also need another long athletic wing. I think if they can acquire those two pieces, along with what they have, remember, they're going to get back a healthy Tim Hardaway. I think the Dallas Mavericks have a good shot to return to the Western Conference Finals. Now, I understand Denver will be healthy. Hopefully, as a fan, we want everybody healthy. You get back a Jamal Murray, Porter Jr. In L.A., talking about the Clippers. You're getting back a healthy Kawhi, Paul George. So the West will be much tougher. But I also think some other teams will take a step back. I think Utah will make some changes. I'd be surprised if Donovan Mitchell doesn't request some type of trade. I think he's ready to move on from that situation, from that franchise. And we saw what the Pelicans were able to do fighting their way into the play-in game. Imagine now if they can ever have a healthy Zion Williams to go with the young players that helped them get into the play-in. When you think of somebody like C.J. McCollum, a leader like that, and Brandon Ingram, I even like Valanciunas. I really do think when you look at the Pelicans, when you look at the defensive stalwart like Herb Jones, when you look at what they have in terms of a young core, sprinkle in a couple of veterans, get you a healthy Zion Williamson back. And the Pelicans are going to be an interesting team. Look, I never jumped the gun. You bring in Zion, even if they're healthy, I'm not going to say they're a title contender. I think they're a playoff contender. I look at teams like a healthy Clippers. I look at teams like the Phoenix Suns will be back. I look at the Mavericks if they can add some pieces. And of course, if Golden State comes back with their core and they're healthy, and you add Wiseman, not to mention Kuminga will be a year better. Poole will be a year better. better. His development will have gone a step further. The Golden State Warriors, whether they win the title this season or not, they will be title contenders once again next season. I thought the first 2 rounds of this season's NBA playoffs were more physical than I'd seen them in many years. That said, and I'm good with the refs letting them play, but be consistent. What's a foul in the regular season? A foul is a foul. That's my frustration with the NBA officials or the way the games are called. You either allow physicality or you don't. And when the offensive player can initiate it by using their off arm and still get a call, that's frustrating to me. And if you're a defensive player, how can you win? How can you win if you move your feet? They're allowed to shiver you or give you the Walter Payton stiff arm, and still somehow they get to the foul line. On the flip side, look at what happened in Game 3 between the Celtics and the Heat. No Jimmy Butler. Bam Adebayo had been missing in action, and out of nowhere, that all-star, Bam, showed up. Was the best player in the game, led the Heat to the win. And that was the most physical game in the playoffs, period. Go back. I'll ask anybody. Go back and watch. Just watch P.J. Tucker and Jason Tatum off the ball. Not when he has the ball, but off the ball. That's Greco-Roman wrestling. And this isn't a complaint. I'm not a Boston fan. I have no dog in this fight. But any other time, Jason Tatum would have shot like 17, 18 free throws. But much like the way the Celtics beat up KD in round 1, I think P.J. Tucker has worn down Jason Tatum. Look, the same way we said Durant has to adjust to the physicality, if going forward, this is what the series is going to be, if Boston is going to win this series, of course, Tatum has to play well as well as his teammates, but he's got to be effective and he's got to adjust to the physicality. Even if he's not as efficient a shooter, he can be an efficient scorer. And here's what I mean. If the jumper's not falling, if he's in your airspace that much, you got to put your head down and go hard. And Jason Tatum's got to shoot 12, 14, 15 free throws if that's his way of generating offense. And if you're Jaylen Brown, who did play well, he shot great. He was aggressive, but oftentimes he was just going to the basket out of control. Your 2 best players in 3 games cannot have a combined 26 turnovers. If the Celtics are going to be that careless to the point where Miami has 19 steals, and I want to be fair, I think for sure part of that is Miami's defense, the intensity, and the physicality that they brought to the game. But a lot of that was terrible, telegraphed, half-hearted passes by the Celtics. And your 2 best players, in particular Jaylen Brown, when Victor Oladipo was on him, he was just getting ripped. You have to value the basketball. If Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown cannot adjust to the physicality, the Boston Celtics, they'll be watching the finals. One more quick take on Heat Celtics. If this series remains as physical as it has been, Jimmy Butler's game is built for physicality. If he's healthy, I still think Jimmy Butler will be the best player in this series. I think he's the main reason why I believe this is a 7-game series. I'll be back tomorrow to talk Warriors-Mavs, Game 4.